Okay, to kick this video off, I'm starting out with some workshop area improvements. This US General Series 3 hutch that I was kind of using like a toolbox just wasn't it. So I decided to get rid of it. I listed it on Marketplace and it took a while, but finally found somebody to buy it. Initially I was using this as a hutch on my toolbox at work, but brought it home and decided I wanted to change my setup. So I was getting rid of it. Can always figure out ways to do this on my own. We are so back, baby. So cleaned up, sold the hutch yesterday evening after I got home from work. And then messaged a guy about this the same night. Went down today and picked this up, a nice little Husky roll cab with the top chest. I wanted something like this to condense my tool storage laterally and increase it height-wise. That way I'm taking up less floor space and less workbench space that way. And I thought this was like the perfect size and everything, you know. Whatever, I don't have to explain it too much, but this is going to be an awesome home toolbox. I'll be able to have carpentry tools in here, as well as all my mechanical tools in here, with a little bit of room to expand even. So, perfect little starter box. We're very stoked on that. I think the cart, the goal for that is to make that a mobile toolbox for bringing to the track and stuff like that. So, I've got some plans for that, or some rough ideas at least at the moment, so we'll see how that all pans out. But for now, I have to completely get this thing sorted and move all my tools in, so I'll get right on it. Marketplace prevails, of course. I already have a Matco toolbox at work and a bunch of professional level tools, so all I really need is a Husky and Pittsburgh and stuff like that at home. But I definitely wanted something more ergonomic for what I was doing, taking up less space, and this fits the bill perfectly and has just the right amount of storage that I needed, so I'm really happy with it. Alright, so now with this out of the way, we're going to address another thing on the car real quick. So what I have right here, this is the Driftmotion ETCS-i delete kit. Now, they do say on the website that this does not work with stock ECU. I'm willing to take the risk on this. It was like 30 bucks shipped, so I figure why not, you know. If anything, I can either keep the ETSI or use this to delete it with a standalone in the future, but figured it'd be a nice piece to have on hand regardless. So this goes inside of the throttle by the armature that actually actuates the throttle blade and takes up for the slack left there by the ETCS-i input system. So it's actually physically linked then, and the throttle cable actuating the throttle blade is what actually will control it and not the ECU telling the throttle motor what to do. I figure at this point this is worth a shot just to see if I can somehow get some idle set on it, have it not be surging, things like that. This is kind of a last ditch effort with the factory ECU before I say screw it and just go standalone. So let's pull the throttle body and get this installed. Alright, so now that we've got this off, this of course is the ETCS-i throttle unit. You can have a visual representation here. So this simply activates the sensor on the desired throttle input here. And then when you reach about here, about 80% on the throttle, it then opens the throttle blade just a little bit as like a limp home mode kind of thing. So that's all I was able to rev it off of before was that. So basically what we need to do is take this guy, and this is going to go into this housing here to link directly to that, and then also take out one of the gears on this side of the throttle motor. So let's get right to that. Phillips head of all things. And I don't want to turn. Okay, let's see if this works. Funny how that works. Put a little impact on it with the right size Phillips bit and it turns. Crazy concept. Okay, that's probably never been apart before either. Okay, pull that out. Alright, you can see right here, this is just straight linkage here. So basically what this piece does, pull it out of the packaging and stop dropping things. This is supposed to get mounted directly to this in an orientation where it meets up with that. I believe it's supposed to be like this. Like if this is facing backwards, mount him like that. Oh, I think you actually take this piece off and you put this on in replacement. If I am thinking correctly, we have 20% chance of that. Yeah, I believe that should be right. 12 mil action. Actually, that's a nice little bearing in there. That's a ball bearing. It looks identical to what the pilot bearings look like on these things, funny enough. I believe that goes right there. Maybe we'll grab enough threads that way. I don't know. Well, I do believe that's how this is supposed to go. You don't need a ton of torque for it either, I don't believe. I believe it should just bolt in here. Yep, and that does fully actuate the throttle blade now. Alright. And then there is also an idle set screw that comes in the packaging right here. So I have to figure out where that mounts, like here. It should be the back one, I do believe, because it makes it adjustable. Okay, so the idle set screw is going to be this back one, because the more you thread it in, let's look at this from this angle. So this back one's going to be right here. The more you thread this in, the more it's going to push this way, which in turn is going to open the throttle blade. So gotta take that out and put the Driftmotion replacement in. So you can see one end here, if I get it nice and close, if this will focus at all. The one end here has a hex end to it. So you take a hex key, you loosen this jam nut first, then you take a hex key and you can thread it further in or further out to adjust your idle speed. I do find it very interesting how they utilized all of these factory pieces in order to make a functioning mechanical system. It's very interesting to me. Just the engineering and thought behind this. Kind of a nerd with that stuff. Okay, so we can get that in and get the screws back in, and this part of this should be done now. That is the wrong screw. I am stupid.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
Not until 4.
Alright, anyways, let's move on to this side. Careful. Oh yeah, don't do that. Oh boy. Oh good heavens. This one might not be cooperative. There we go. A little more pressure and we got her. This cover pulls off. Let's hold this up. There we go. Okay. So you see we got some gears here. Pull that one off, and that should take out all that resistance. It is purely a mechanical throttle, way smoother. So yeah, kind of got an idle adjustment on there. We'll see if that works, and go from there. I'm also going to try this both with and without the ETCS-i motor plug plugged in, I've heard mixed things about how that usually goes. Not going all the way with it. I'll start with the clocking. We'll just leave it clocked this way for now. Go from there. Okay, should be ready to try it out. Okay, test fire. Now that's interesting, the thing started dieseling. Still a little high on that idle, so I gotta fix that. Adjusted the idle speed back a little bit. Let's see how it likes this. Alright, so off camera, I went ahead and put some fluid in the transmission, just enough to run this and kind of get some runtime on it. I think I fixed the exhaust leak that you're able to hear on this thing. We'll see. It's a V-band and the angles are kind of sucky, but whatever. And then, as you can see, I got a coolant funnel over there. We are going to fill and bleed the cooling system right now. So, exciting moment. We're going to get some actual runtime on this thing, you know, all that good stuff. And yes, I am using coolant for now because I don't know for sure if I'm going to hit my deadlift. Is that water? Oh, that's definitely coolant. Oh, don't do that. Oh, yep, idiot. Left the hose unplugged. How did I know that was going to happen? Okay, well, let's tighten that. Actually kind of nuts that I'm doing this right now. I kind of can't believe it. It's going to take a while to fill this because of the swirl pot configuration, and we'll see what happens here. Let's let her idle for a bit. Sounding decent. I definitely need to step that idle down a bit, that's for sure. Man, she's purring. Sounds great. Next thing we're gonna do, make sure that the driveline stuff kind of works. So, I got the fans wired up so we can idle and run this thing a little bit now, so we're gonna do that. Well, this might be a proof of concept here. I got the cooling system finished off and sealed up, found the radiator cap for that. Got some other things tidied up, power steering system filled. I'm going to move it around as a diagnostic temp. I'm not going to beat on it too much. I want to at least put it around the yard, but if I shoot it up the road real quick, that's going to be a W in and of itself. So this is either going to be a proof of concept or a proof of total failure. We're going to find out. Holy crap, is this a sight to behold, dude. Under movement, it actually was good AFR and everything, just going up and down the driveway. Need to get like ray brigs or something for headlights because these things suck, but oh my goodness, dude, this is crazy. I just can't believe this is happening right now. The clutch is really aggressive and grabs really high, so I might have to do some adjustment with that. Yeah, that's concerning, but it's not that bad when I drive it, so. Holy crap, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. No way! This is actually crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Like that. That's interesting. Too much in the boost. Okay. So clearly some bugs to work out. It didn't like when I got it a little bit into boost there, clearly. I have fixes on the way though for that, so stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna get too obvious with that yet. Now it's idling at 12.5. So I don't know, stock ECU is obviously a little bit pissed off with what's going on here, but I don't know. Well, I am absolutely ecstatic, of course. Couldn't come without one little tribulation on one of my little test drives. I forgot to latch the hood pins. And all of a sudden I saw the hood start lifting. I tried to slow down, and once it starts lifting, you can't really stop it. And it went all the way up. So that's cool. Thank the good Lord above, the windshield's fine. That was the biggest thing I was worried about. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, there goes that. The hood's going to be dented, which, oh, the hood's not vented. I thought the hood was going to be dented. I thought the windshield was going to be cracked, which I was really going to be upset about because that cannot be an easy or cheap windshield to find. So I'm very glad that that ended the way it did. Shout out to having an aluminum hood, but unfortunately that means this thing took a little bit of bend, so I'm going to have to investigate on that and see what I can do to either get this thing straightened out or give up entirely on this hood and switch to the hood that's hiding behind the fridge back there, do some sort of vent on that. We'll have to see. Aesthetics like that are not the most important thing that I'm worried about right now. But other than that, overall, if you had asked me today when I was leaving work if I was going to be driving this up and down the road, I would have laughed. I would have just been like, no, there's no way. There's no way that I'll be, driving the RX7 today. But here we are. I just wanted to get it as a proof of concept. So the big deal with this car is there's a lot of things to work out, and I have to take basically this whole thing back apart again and smooth out a bunch of stuff. And it's going to be a big work in progress as we go. Improvements to intercooler piping, things like that, potentially even a turbo upgrade at some point, but for now, just on the stock ECU to drive this thing and actually see decent AFRs under acceleration. I was seeing between 11 to 13 under acceleration, which when you're not in too much boost is nothing. I was very happy about that. Around idle, it was varying. Sometimes it was about 12, 13. Other times it was high 15s, low 16s. It was a bit lean, so, and right now my setup for that is kind of jank. We don't need to talk about that, but all in all, I can't believe I drove my RX7 today. I just can't believe it. Just hearing the turbo noises was something else. I can't. I'm going to really enjoy this power band in this car, I think. One complaint I do have right away, that seat is awesome, but it is mounted entirely too high. I test fit with a helmet, and if I leaned over to the right too much, I was hitting my head on the roof there. And it was nice having the visibility that I did, but it's my legs are hitting the steering wheel. I'm a little bit high in relation to the steering wheel, so it's got to come down a good inch or two. And then I would like to get either a quick release or like one of those works belt quick releases that's got the hinge on it. So we'll address that soon here. But I do have some very, very important upgrades coming that are going to be essential to getting this thing running right and having actual diagnostics. I think you know what I'm getting at there. So with that being said, huge win, absolutely massive. I'm probably circling back on my words here, but thank you guys if you're watching. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your support thus far. Drop a like, leave a comment, let's talk, see things I did stupid on this, see things I did well on this. Give me suggestions, things I can improve, all that kind of stuff. And again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, God bless.